Welcome back to the Parry Presents Heavyweight Kings or Kings of the Heavyweight. Tonight, we will be discussing one of the most single punching, power punching heavyweights of all time. One of the most dominating, one of the most devastating punchers, one of the most intimidating and feared heavyweights that ever stepped inside of the ring. We're talking about none other than Big Geroge Foreman. And before we get into this, though, I gotta remind y'all, jab that like button, hook off on that subscribe, and uppercut that share if you would, please. Thank you, and let's get into this.
I know you won't swing, but this is the Parry.
This is the Parry.
Hook it and uppercut is getting scary.
Oh, it's getting scary.
Treasure the truth or risk getting buried.
Risk getting
I'm
killed.
on a mission, you hear me? Yeah, this is the Parry.
This is
They
the
got
Parry.
the green light if we say go.
Go.
Young Tyson, wake him up with the BK flow.
You know.
Loading up late rounds, this is TKO.
With an amateur record of 16 wins and 4 losses, Geroge Foreman fought his way through the Olympic trials, earning his spot on the Olympic team representing America in the 68 Games in Mexico City, where he would go on to knock out Russia's Jonas Kepulis for the gold medal. A year later, he would make his professional debut in Madison Square Garden, knocking out Donald Walheim in 3 rounds. He would continue to climb the ranks, knocking out fighters like Boone Kirkman in the 2nd round, and after knocking out Luis Faustino Perez, he then went on to become the #1 ranked contender for the heavyweight championship. And a year later in Kingston, Jamaica, he would get his shot against heavyweight champion Joe Frazier. Foreman, coming in the fight, was a 3-1 underdog, but as soon as the bell sounded to begin fighting, it was clear the younger, stronger, and bigger Foreman was just too much, dominating from the get-go. Midway into the 1st round, Foreman dropped Frazier with a thunderous uppercut. He then dropped him again in his corner to end the round with another right-hand uppercut. The 2nd round looking a lot like the 1st round, Frazier will be quickly floored again, continuing to get up, only to be floored again. After the 6th knockdown, Foreman literally lifted Frazier's feet off of the canvas, and although Frazier did beat the count, the ref, seeing enough, called the fight off in the 2nd round, making Geroge Foreman the newly crowned heavyweight champion of the world. His first defense saw him travel to Tokyo to take on Puerto Rican champion Jose Roman, completely blowing Roman out within 2 minutes of the 1st round. Next, he would travel to Venezuela to take on highly regarded and future Hall of Famer Ken Norton. After a fairly even 1st round, Foreman rocked Norton with a right uppercut, leaving him on wobbly legs in the 2nd. And after wobbling back with the ropes keeping Norton from falling, the referee called the 1st knockdown of the fight. But shortly after the fight resumed, a right uppercut, right hook combination followed by a short left hand sent Norton crashing down to the canvas for the full 10-second count.
The inscrutable Geroge Foreman. One is hard put to know what he really thinks. The boisterous Muhammad Ali, and one never knows what he really thinks.
After blowing out 2 top names of the heavyweight division, Foreman was now set for his biggest payday ever, a fight against former champion Muhammad Ali.
He's the one on points. Round 2, back out with the stick. Dancing, faking, using it, reaching.
Ali not only publicly questioned Foreman's skill, but also his stamina. It had been quite some time Foreman went more than 4 rounds in a fight.
7, 8 rounds to be puffing. He'll be breathing. I'm a 7, 8 round man. I'm used to going 12 rounds.
The fight would take place in Zaire, Africa, the former Congo, and it would be billed the Rumble in the Jungle. Although the fight was a very lucrative fight, most people felt Ali at 32 was past his prime. Foreman, in his attempt to play his own mind games with the challenger, made Ali wait in the ring for a good 15 minutes before he decided to come out and make his entrance. Before both fighters could even be announced in the ring, Ali would lead the crowd in a chant of Ali Boombaye, which translated to Ali kill him. In the opening round, Ali danced around throwing hard left hook, right hand combinations, grabbing Foreman by the top of the head and tying him up, stopping him from leveraging his punches when Foreman got too close. Ali then began to throw the right hand lead, which shocked most observers, including Foreman himself. It appeared as if Ali was trying to knock out Foreman in the first round. Foreman was finding it hard to land a clean shot on Ali. Ali would either clinch, hold, or smother his shots by keeping his arms in front of him. In the second round, Ali began to lean on the ropes, allowing Foreman to punch away, landing mostly on Ali's elbows. Foreman would continue to punch away, trying to land a significant headshot, but Ali, leaning on the ropes, avoiding most of the trouble, also taunting Foreman in between. As Foreman began to tire, his punches were reduced to mere slaps. In the 8th round, Ali stung a tired Foreman with a right hand, and then after a left hook right hand combination, Foreman went spiraling to the canvas. Foreman was completely exhausted, having punched himself out, was unable to beat the count, losing not only his undefeated record, but his heavyweight title to who many believe to be the greatest of all time. After a year out of the ring, George Foreman will return in an attempt to showcase his power and ability, and also to restore the aura of invincibility he had prior to the Ali fight. Foreman would take on 5 fighters in a single night, with Muhammad Ali as a guest commentator. The first of the 5 3-minute exhibition rounds was against Alonzo Johnson, knocking Alonzo Johnson senseless in the second round. And in between knockdowns, you would see him going back and forth with Ali, pretty much trying to get the excitement back to fight Ali in the rematch again and show off his awesome power in this fight. Next up would be journeyman Jerry Judge, who he would also dispatch in 2 rounds. And another second round stoppage of Terry Daniels. After the 3rd fight, however, a very tired Foreman was unable to stop Charlie Polite or Boone Kirkman. The event was seen as a farce by most and criticized heavily by the public. His first official comeback fight will be against rugged Ronnie Lau, and in the 4th round, Lau dropped Foreman. Foreman getting up, then dropped Ronnie Lau in one of the greatest heavyweight rounds in boxing, only for Ronnie Lau to then get up and drop Foreman again. But in the 5th round, Foreman landed a 13-punch unanswered combination that left Lau out for the count. Next, we'll see him in a rematch against Smoking Joe Frazier, with both men looking for a return bout against the champion Ali. Despite most experts not giving Frazier a chance after Foreman's dominating performance in their first fight, surprisingly, Frazier came out very spirited, winning the first round. Frazier, who was wearing a contact lens, had it knocked loose in the 3rd round, and unable to see the punches coming, was dropped with a devastating left hook in the 5th, and then again with a powerful right hook, ending the bout in 5 rounds. He would continue his campaign for the title, knocking out Scott Liddell in 3 rounds before facing Jimmy Young. In a very close and competitive fight, Foreman was dropped in the 12th round, losing a unanimous decision. Shortly after, he would retire and leave boxing to become a minister. And almost 10 years to the date, on March 9th, 1987, George Foreman would return against Steve Zauska. Foreman dominated the fight, but now extremely religious, didn't seem to want to go out there and hurt the man, urged the referee to stop the fight. And after punishing him for 4 rounds, the referee did just that. After a full year into his comeback and 7 straight victories by knockout, his first real test was expected to come by way of former cruiserweight champion, Camden, New Jersey's Dwight Muhammad Kwawi. Foreman controlled most of the fight, landing hard crosses and uppercuts to keep Kwawi at bay. Although Kwawi did have his moments, after 7 rounds, he decided he had had enough. 3 years into his comeback at 19-0, 18 by knockout, he would continue his march towards the title with a 2nd round knockout of Jerry Cooney, January 1990 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And after blowing out Terry Anderson in one round, 4 years after coming back from a 10-year hiatus, he would finally earn his shot against heavyweight champion Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. Holyfield, the heavy favorite, came out early using the jab, moving side to side, staying out of the way of George's power, winning the early rounds easily. But in the 7th round, Foreman would land some hard combinations that would momentarily stop the momentum of Holyfield. But after Foreman would punch himself out, Evander Holyfield will respond with a 15-punch combination of left and right hooks that staggered Foreman to punctuate the round. And after 12 entertaining but lopsided rounds, Evander Holyfield would be awarded the decision. Although Foreman had lost the fight, the fact that he had went 12 rounds with the champion at 43 years old was a moral victory within itself. 8 months after receiving the first loss in his comeback, he would return against Jimmy K. Ellis, stopping Ellis in the 3rd round. 2 years later, he would receive another title shot for the lowly regarded WBO against Tommy Morrison, in a fight where Tommy refused to trade shots with George Foreman, often even turning his back on Foreman. The disgraceful performance paid off for Morrison, and he was granted a 12-round unanimous decision. A year after the disappointing loss to Morrison, Foreman would find himself in another title shot, this time against newly crowned champion Michael Moorer, who had recently outpointed Evander Holyfield in a close split decision. Moorer jumped out on Foreman, getting the early lead using his southpaw jab, occasionally sneaking in that straight left hand. And after dominating George Foreman for 9 rounds, in the 10th round, Michael Moorer stood in and began to trade shots, allowing George Foreman to land his signature right hand, putting down Michael Moorer for the count, regaining the heavyweight title of the world, making George Foreman at 46 years old the oldest man to win the heavyweight championship of the world. Exactly 20 years and 1 month to the date of losing the title to Muhammad Ali in Zaire, Africa. His first defense of the title came against Germany's Axel Schultz. Schultz, a virtually unknown fighter, came in the fight and basically dominated Big George for most of the 12 rounds on most observer scorecards, winning the fight. However, when the decision was announced, it was given to George Foreman. The IBF demanded an immediate rematch to be held in Germany. When Foreman refused, he was stripped of the IBF title, no longer holding any world sanctioning title, but still considered the lineal champion for unheralded Lou Savarese to a tough split decision. And in 1997, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, he went on to face young tough contender Shannon Briggs. In what would be one of his best performances since returning in the ring in 1987, Foreman would seem to have turned back the clock, out-punching, outscoring, and just outmaneuvering the younger and faster Shannon Briggs. Most observers gave Briggs no more than 3 rounds, but when the scorecards were read, Briggs would be gifted with a majority decision. Foreman would officially retire afterwards, ending a career that spanned 4 decades, one of the most devastating single-punch knockout artists that ever lived. From puncher to preacher to punching preacher. Not only one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, but also one of the greatest reinventions of a champion. And according to us here at the Parry, the number 6 greatest heavyweight of all time, Big Geroge Foreman.
And Michael Moorer is down, goes Moorer on a right hand. An unbelievable.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.